Part 1. My name is Jack, and I'm from London. One sunny Saturday, I decided to explore my city. I wanted to see all the famous sights. I started my day at Buckingham Palace. When I arrived, I saw the changing of the guard. The soldiers in their red coats and tall hats looked impressive. I took lots of pictures and enjoyed the music played by the band. After that, I walked to the Houses of Parliament. The Big Ben clock tower was towering above me. I stood there, listening to the bells chime. It felt magical to be in such an iconic place. Next, I headed to the south bank of the River Thames. The views were stunning. I saw the London Eye, a giant Ferris wheel. I decided to take a ride. When I reached the top, I could see the entire city. The buildings looked so small and the river sparkled in the sunlight. Feeling hungry, I went to a nearby market. There were food stalls with delicious options: fish and chips, pastries, and fresh fruit. I chose a hot meat pie, which was warm and tasty. I sat on a bench to enjoy my meal and watched people pass by. In the afternoon, I visited the Tate Modern, a famous art museum. I saw amazing paintings and sculptures. Some pieces were strange, but they made me think. I spent hours exploring the galleries, feeling inspired by the creativity around me. As the sun began to set, I walked back along the river. The city was lit up beautifully, and I felt grateful for the day I had. I realized how much I loved living in London. There's always something new to discover and enjoy. When I got home, I smiled, thinking about all the adventures I had. I couldn't wait to share my day with my friends. Part 2. As Jack walked along the River Thames, he felt a sense of excitement. The lights of the city twinkled like stars, and the air was filled with laughter and music. He decided to continue his adventure. Jack remembered hearing about a street called Covent Garden. It was known for its lively atmosphere and street performers. Curious, he made his way there. When he arrived, he was amazed by the energy of the place. Musicians played cheerful tunes and artists painted colorful pictures. Jack watched a magician perform tricks that made everyone laugh. He clapped and cheered, enjoying the show. After the performance, Jack wandered through the shops. He found a small store selling handmade crafts. He picked up a beautiful wooden toy for his younger sister. The shopkeeper smiled and told him that each toy had a special story. Feeling happy with his purchase, Jack decided to grab a snack. He found a cafe that smelled wonderful. He ordered a cup of hot chocolate and a slice of cake. As he sat outside, sipping his drink, he watched people go by. Everyone seemed to be in a good mood, enjoying the night. As the evening continued, Jack heard music coming from the nearby Royal Opera House. He had always wanted to see an opera, but never had the chance. On a whim, he decided to buy a ticket for the evening show. The opera was incredible. The singers had beautiful voices, and the story was captivating. Jack was mesmerized by the performance, feeling like he was part of a dream. As the final curtain fell, he applauded loudly, thrilled by the experience. When the show was over, Jack walked back to the river, the cool breeze refreshing against his skin. He felt grateful for such a wonderful day. London was truly a magical place, full of surprises and joy. As he reached his home, Jack reflected on all the things he had seen and done. He realized that each day in London held the promise of new adventures, and he couldn't wait for the next one. Part 3. Next day, Jack woke up feeling excited. His adventure in London wasn't over yet. He decided to explore a different part of the city, the historic area of Greenwich. After breakfast, Jack took the bus to Greenwich. When he arrived, he was amazed by the beautiful parks and gardens. The sun shone brightly, making everything look vibrant. First, Jack visited the Royal Observatory, where he learned about the stars and planets. He stood at the Prime Meridian, the line that separates the eastern and western hemispheres. "I can stand in both the east and west at the same time," he laughed, taking a selfie to remember the moment. Next, he strolled through Greenwich Park. The trees were lush and the flowers bloomed in bright colors. Jack climbed to the top of a hill, where he could see a stunning view of the River Thames and the city skyline. It was a perfect spot for a moment of peace. Feeling hungry, Jack headed to a local market. He found stalls selling fresh fruits, vegetables, and delicious treats. He tried some juicy strawberries and bought a homemade pie. As he sat on a bench enjoying his snack, he struck up a conversation with an elderly man who shared stories about his life in London. The man told Jack about the history of the area and the famous Cutty Sark, a beautiful old ship nearby. Curious, Jack decided to visit it. When he arrived, he was fascinated by the ship's design and the tales of its adventures across the sea. As the day turned to evening, Jack realized he had to head back. He took one last walk along the river, watching the boats glide by. The sky turned shades of orange and pink, painting a beautiful picture. Jack felt content, knowing he had discovered more of what London had to offer. On the bus ride home, he reflected on all the incredible experiences he had in just 2 days. He was grateful for the city and its rich history, culture, and the people he met along the way. London was not just a place, it was a feeling of belonging and adventure. When he got home, Jack decided to write about his adventures in a journal. He wanted to remember every detail so he could share his stories with friends and family. He closed his eyes, dreaming of where his next adventure would take him in London.